Wake up, family. We are live. YouTube. Shalom to all my family out there. This is Moses. Just waking up, giving you all the live view to understand that we are real. This is not Hollywood. This is not something you cannot understand. The Lord has given us visions and understanding and wisdom greater than anyone can imagine. It's time to come back home. It's time to wash away all the pain. It's time to understand that the great day of the Lord is on the way. And I know y'all saying, why don't you wash your face and why don't you, do before you come on live? I wanted to show y'all reality of how we're living in America and how much we're in desolate places. So, y'all gotta realize our land is consistent of all this. And we can easily build all this stuff within 10, 15, 20 years, which we already built all over the continent, on the motherland. So, that being said, we're gonna play y'all something we got that Ibrahim Torre is trying to pass through the diaspora to understand time for us to come together and bring about the unification of our nation. Yes, that's right, y'all. The visa time. Time to get the connected continental one Afro nation visa. That's right. This is a visa that you will be granted as long as you're from the soil of the land and you belong and you have a mission and you believe the Most High is truly a man that has given you the power to understand the revolution. So we're going to play you guys a little something that we were watching.
Declares
Take a listen.
African Americans and citizens of Caribbean nations like Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, and Tobago will now be eligible to receive the groundbreaking United States of Africa passport, a powerful new symbol of unity, identity, and return. His voice shakes slightly as he speaks to the crowd. They are not foreigners to us. They are Africa's children, stolen, scattered, and now finally being welcomed back home. The crowd in Ouagadougou erupts in cheers. The African continent holds its breath. This is not just a passport, it's a spiritual and political homecoming. It is a bold message to the world. Africa is no longer divided. Centuries after the horrors of slavery and colonization tore millions of Africans from their land, President Traoré is offering a new path home, with dignity, with pride, and with open arms. For the first time in history, African Americans, Haitians, Jamaicans, Barbadians, Trinidadians, and more will be able to apply for official African citizenship through this new initiative. Each passport will read United States of Africa, Ghana, United States of Africa, Nigeria, United States of Africa, Burkina Faso, and so on, connecting every individual to an African homeland by name and by blood. But this isn't just about paper. It's about healing. It's about restoring what was taken. For 400 years, our brothers and sisters were taken from us, Traoré says. But now we are calling them back, not as guests, but as rightful children of Africa. The announcement has sparked shock and silence in the West, where some media outlets have already dismissed the plan as symbolic or impractical. But the mood in Africa is the opposite. Across the continent, from Senegal to South Africa, the streets are buzzing. Social media is flooded with emotional reactions, some crying on camera, others saying they are finally feeling whole. The passport office for this initiative is already being expanded in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso's capital. Long queues form, not just of hopeful Africans, but of descendants of the diaspora flying in from the US, Jamaica, and Haiti, clutching old documents, family records, DNA test results, hoping to reclaim something lost. This is Ibrahim Traoré's vision, a united Africa that stretches beyond the continent, a family reuniting after centuries of pain. And this is only the beginning. Word spreads like wildfire. In Atlanta, New York, Kingston, and Port of Spain, descendants of Africa wake up to the news that stuns them. Africa is finally calling them home. Television stations across the Caribbean break into live coverage, broadcasting Ibrahim Traoré's speech to millions. On TikTok and YouTube, emotional videos go viral. Elders breaking down in tears, young people dancing with flags of both their Caribbean nations and African countries like Ghana and Burkina Faso. Some simply whisper into their cameras, "We're going home." Traoré's message resonates deep in the hearts of the African diaspora. People whose ancestors were torn from their villages, sold into slavery, and forced into generations of oppression. For decades, many had searched for a way to connect to the continent beyond ancestry tests and documentaries. Now, for the first time, they are being given more than connection. They are being given citizenship, rights, and a future on the land of their forefathers. At a press conference in Ouagadougou, Traoré makes it clear that this is not charity. They are not guests, they are our family, he says. This is their home, and Africa will be stronger with them. But this bold move doesn't come without resistance. Western governments respond quickly. A spokesperson from a European nation calls it idealistic and reckless. Some Western media outlets criticize the logistics, questioning whether Burkina Faso or other African countries can handle the sudden influx of applicants. But their cynicism falls flat in the face of raw emotion and unity. African leaders across the continent begin voicing support. Ghana, South Africa, Rwanda, Senegal, and even Kenya released joint statements applauding the move. Some are already preparing their own systems to issue the United States of Africa passport to members of the diaspora. Others propose housing projects, land grants, and special integration programs to make the return home smoother for Afro descendants. Traoré unveils more details. Diaspora applicants will go through a strict but fair vetting process to prevent fraud and ensure they align with the values of African unity. He stresses that enemies of the continent, those who work to divide or exploit Africa, will not be granted this privilege. This passport is a sacred symbol, he says. It is not for sale, and it is not for spies. Back in Ouagadougou, officials confirmed that production of the new passports is already underway. The first batch is being prepared for descendants from Haiti, Brazil, and the US, who had previously submitted ancestry verification and documentation. The system is overwhelmed, but the energy is hopeful. Thousands are applying daily, some online, others arriving in person. And as night falls over the African sky, a new fire burns brightly across the diaspora. Hope, belonging, and the beginning of a return 400 years in the making. The passport office in Ouagadougou is now a buzzing hub of movement, paperwork, and emotion. Lines stretch for blocks as the first group of Caribbean and African American applicants arrive in person. Many carry old photos, documents, even family trees scrawled on paper. Anything that proves their ancestral link to the continent. Inside, the atmosphere is electric. There are tears, songs, and stories being shared between strangers who feel like family meeting for the first time. Across the Atlantic, African embassies in Jamaica, Trinidad, the US, and Barbados are overwhelmed with inquiries. People are calling, emailing, and even showing up in person to ask how to begin the process. The website hosting the official application crashes twice due to traffic. Engineers work around the clock in Burkina Faso to expand bandwidth and add multilingual support, from English and French to Patois and Haitian Creole. Everyone is welcome, but the system must be strong. President Traoré addresses the chaos calmly. We expected this wave, he says. This is not migration. This is reunification. Footage surfaces of families from the Bronx and Chicago who are already packing their bags, planning permanent moves. Young professionals from Barbados talk openly about building tech startups in Accra and Kigali. Musicians in Jamaica announce collaborations with African artists in Nigeria and Mali. A powerful wave of cultural fusion begins to rise. And it's no longer just symbolic. It's real, it's legal, and it's happening fast. The passports themselves are striking, deep green with gold lettering. On the cover it reads, United States of Africa in bold. Then below, the specific country name, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, and so on. But what shocks the world is the variant. Passports labeled United States of Africa, African diaspora, specially crafted for Afro descendants in the Americas and Caribbean. It's never been done before. Each passport comes with visa-free access to all African countries. In his announcement, Traoré makes a bold declaration. Any African nation that refuses visa-free entry to a holder of this passport will be in violation of the Pan-African Accord and will face sanctions. The continent erupts with applause. From markets in Dakar to radio stations in Nairobi, the message is clear. Africa is no longer divided. And more importantly, Africa will never again turn its back on its stolen children. But in the West, reactions grow sharper. One U.S. outlet calls it a geopolitical stunt. A European newspaper warns of population destabilization. But those criticisms are drowned out by voices from the diaspora, who flood social media with hashtags like #AfricaIsHome and #Passport to Freedom. One elderly woman from Alabama, who traced her roots back to Sierra Leone, holds up her new African passport on live stream. Her voice trembles. My great-grandmother was born in chains. Today I am born again, as an African, as the images are everywhere now. A Trinidadian family hugging airport staff in Ouagadougou. A Haitian artist singing in Wolof with street musicians in Dakar.
Wow. Well, the truth of the matter is, the Lord is calling us back. Yes, the Lord is calling us back. One nation under the Lord. That's right. That means the Almighty Father of even Ibrahim Torre, that's right, of myself, is calling us back because he knows we have to go back to the wilderness that Moses had us on back in the day in Egypt. The same wilderness where we thrived in order for judgment to ensue. Because no matter what, we still have to go through the fire. And we still have to go through a time of great tribulation that will bring about the goldification of our nation. That means we are going to be the best of the best. Save the best for last. That's what is happening. So y'all get ready. Y'all make sure that, we start organizing, giving ourselves a lot of humble attitude and being part of something greater. And I know there's a lot of shadow banning effects. There's a lot of people here that's just trying to get in the way. And there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. There's going to be a lot of, problematics that we cannot control or see. But have faith and believe. Wisdom is greater than anything you can imagine. Just like how they use the advertising industry to completely demolish our entire aspirations, we are going to use the same advertising industry to completely take away everything we added on so that you can see the truth and it will make us free. Because we have to understand that when we build to last. When we do things, this is why they destroy it, because they know we're here forever. Well, their destruction ain't forever. Soon it will be turned on them. So thank y'all for listening. We're gonna move forward now, and we're gonna make it happen. We making sure we keeping everything fresh and live. We haven't even taken a shower yet. We're about to do that and get to work. Time to go to work. That's right. Thank y'all for tuning in. We heard enough.